Hello, my name is Nick Anzoni. I am forester at Mass DCR. I'm here to talk about the proposed timber sale at Conway State Forest. This is the Cricket Hill project. What we're looking at is a 14-acre portion of a 100-acre project that has been proposed, and I'm going to discuss this, why we chose this area and the type of silviculture we're going to use to harvest this project area. So main reason we are here is because we're working in a non-native Norway spruce plantation established in the 1920s or so up here in the forest. There's many of these out here. The plantations are in disrepair, starting to fall apart from a bunch of different factors, including storm damage, and primarily from root rot disease that transmits itself through the roots and starts affecting the weaker trees, and then eventually gets through the whole stand and causes severe mortality. What we decided to do here is use two different methods. One is a group selection or small group openings to get rid of the large areas of mortality. That would be approximately 1 to 3 acres depending on the extent of the mortality. Basically, we want to remove the entire patch of affected area and then go out at least 1 tree length to make sure we get any of the disease that's in the soil. Try to get most of it out. And so that would involve coming in here, cutting different size holes, selecting the better trees to leave. If you look behind, you'll see some paint on the trees. Blue paint, horizontal line designates a tree selected for timber. Vertical slashes represent a product not large enough for timber, but will be used for some sort of wood pulp or other byproduct other than timber. You may see some yellow paint out here. That's designated the skid trails for the equipment to operate in, and then the sale boundaries are in double red slashes. Another benefit of this project that we would like to do is to take some of the proceeds generated from the sale and improve the infrastructure, mostly roads. These roads have been maintained in quite some time, and we'd like to gravel, drainage, other things. We've seen over the years with the increase in rainfall, we seem to climate shift here, definitely rainier summers, so we'd like to harden up the roads to withstand that heavier rains and heavier use by the public as well. And also, one of the big reasons why we're here is to shift this project area from a non-native plantation to native northern hardwoods, primarily sugar maple, black cherry, and northern red oak. We think those stands will be much more resilient to climate change, and it's obviously what the landscape wants to tend to regenerate. If you look in the background, you can see that native hardwood material coming in underneath a dead patch of spruce, primarily black birch and some sugar maple, and we'd like to remove the material over it to get the shade off it to allow it to grow a little more rapidly. Nick Anzoni again, DCR. Looking here at a 1-acre section of Norway spruce that was planted approximately we believe in the 1920s. And what we're trying to focus here is the state of decay. If you look at the large amount of dead material on the forest floor, it's indicative of a stand in poor quality. It's obviously much higher mortality than it really should have. The spacing here is too dense. So if you note, if you look through, there's very little regen out here. And what's going to be in here is species such as beech and a few other things, and some striped maple that we would like to see replaced with a little more robust northern hardwood component. Another thing we seek to do in this forest is, there's always a ongoing question of carbon sequestration. What's the best approach? You talk to different people, you get a different look at it. For this particular project, based on how we figure things on a smaller scale level, as far as my concern on this is we'd like to take some of this material, especially some of the material that's dying and it's going to basically start to recycle back into the environment, is we'd like to take some of this material and lock up as much as we can in the form of sawn boards and other wood products that will be kept basically out of the carbon recycle stream as best we can here. So, and again, we still leave enough material on the ground. There will be some coarse woody debris to meet our coarse woody debris requirements for various species of animals that need such a habitat. But this is way over the top in terms of the amount of dead and down material. It's not healthy for much of anything. So again, when we're done here, we'd like to see more holes in the canopy and native regeneration coming in. And we think we can achieve that with the harvest program we have designed for this project. Hi, Nick Anzoni, DCR, back here on the Conway State Forest Cricket Hill project. We're now up on the northerly section of the proposed timber harvest. In the background here we have more Norway spruce. As you can see, it's starting to come down. The impacts of wind have blown some trees down. You see a little bit of northern hardwood starting to creep in. There's some black birch and a little bit of hemlock on the edge. There's a wetland system below us, which we've buffered according to Mass General Laws, Chapter 132. And there's a cellar hole in the area, which we're going to protect. We'll try to remove trees around it that are, the roots are growing into it, which will disturb the way the rocks are placed. And then we'll go around it with equipment so as not to directly impact the stones. But once again, you can see the impacts of the decay and of the Norway spruce starting to fall apart. And it's even more prevalent as you get out into the stand, which I'm not going to go into right now because we've had a wind event and it's even a little more unstable than it was prior to the wind event. But anyway, you can see the large gaps in the background, and that's where we're going to be focused on, removing that material, widening the gaps, and getting some more, like a lot of oak just above us, try to get that northern oak regen back in here.